Coffee chat. We have only like 7 minutes here because we have someone else coming in to use our room. So we're going to be real quick. But we had our second webinar last Thursday on the grounded guide, leading liminal spaces. Heather, would you just give us as quick a recap as you can of that awesome webinar, which we totally went over time with because there was so much good stuff.
We did.
And maybe just talk a little bit about the 5 pillars of a grounded guide that we got into, in case folks are curious about what they missed.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, as you say, we ended up with like over 60 slides because we had so much good content and went over time. And
It was so
so th
good.
this is just a really quick taste of it in case anybody's interested. We do have a recording of that available if people want it, but I thought I'll share my screen and just show um, the 5 pillars real quick. So can you see that on your screen? These
Yep.
are these are 5 pillars of grounded guidance, and we talked about first the emotional maturity, which is having a grasp of your own emotions, how they impact other people, how emotions collectively can feed off each other, but also just a deep appreciation of your own emotions. And then relational maturity is understanding the we space of how I am impacting you, you are impacting me, how are
Mhm.
we in relationship, and understanding the need for having good mentorship and good yeah, collaboration, etc. And then the grounded collaborative leadership, that was talking about how do I ground myself in leadership that brings in the collective, that considers the opinions, but also the needs of the collective, and then also being grounded in a set of values, in purpose, etc. And then the fourth one is long-sightedness. And this is something that we're exploring more and more, and we'll do more on in future webinars about the having understandings of deep time and rooting your decisions in a longer term framework instead of we make a lot of urgent decisions or time-based decisions, especially in our political system. We elect people for 4 years, and so they don't have these long range time frames on which to make decisions. And so a grounded guide has some of that visual of long-sightedness in mind as they're making choices. And then this fifth one, and this is the term I came up with trying to talk about how a grounded guide has, I'm calling an integrative systemic consciousness. And this is an understanding of the whole system that's at play, and systems on many levels. On one level, it's do I understand my own whole system in terms of am I incorporating all aspects of my own wisdom and consciousness, my mind, my body, my soul, spirit, all of that? Am I incorporating and turning to that kind of wisdom, or am I just staying in my head for those decisions? And then it's understanding the bigger systems. Am I noticing how different people groups are impacting each other? Am I noticing how yeah, how the hierarchy is impacting, and we also, that was one of the things we unpacked in this, is understanding different kinds if we are talking about grounded guide leaderships, what's kind of the opposite, which is a more hierarchical, high control leadership. And so this is just a really quick overview of the 5 pillars. We went into more detail on what these mean, but we're going to be unpacking this more and more, this idea of being a grounded guide in this time. So I'll stop the share.
Yeah, I think if you want to watch the webinar, it's available for purchase on our website, and I'll get that out to you ASAP. You can still join the study group where we'll get more deeply into some of these topics. And
Yeah.
we finished the first round of study group with our first webinar, and it was just such a rich, oh my gosh, like such
Yeah.
great people showed up, and just the questions and the depth that they bring is just phenomenal. So if
Yeah.
if any of this strikes some curiosity in you, we would love to have you join us for those study groups because they've just been so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's so I love being in circles of people that have high integrity, high self-reflection, and yeah, capacity for big picture thinking. And these are the kinds of people that are showing up because they're wrestling with like,
Mhm.
how do I ground myself in in my work, but also in my relationships and in a relationship with the whole with the earth? How do I be in how do I see systems in different ways than the kind of capitalist framework or colonialist patriarchal
Yeah.
framework? How do I imagine new things? And one of the things we talked about in the webinar was rooting our understanding in like a grounded guide, seeing that as a mother tree in the forest,
Mhm.
how that mother tree is serving the whole forest and feeding the young and the weak through the mycelial network in the forest. So we're really trying to bring in kind of an organic, earth-based way of
Yeah.
understanding leadership and community and relationships. And so, yeah, I'm really excited. Actually, this program is just kind of going deeper and deeper each time we do a webinar. And in fact, there was a lovely comment somebody sent recently was just how much content was in this webinar to really, yeah, wrestle with. And so, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited about what we're unraveling here with this.
Yeah, me too. Our third webinar is coming up at the end of this month, March 27th, I believe is the date. Register for that. I have to update my products on the website to reflect sort of where we're at with all of this, but you can purchase everything one by one as you see fit. And we would love to have you join us because, like we said, these conversations have been so great, and the content that we are pulling together has just been um, hopeful, I think is the word that I keep coming back to. Like
Yeah,
it feels like a way forward, even
yeah,
in even like without bypassing the hard that is,
right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we heard at the end from people that were
Yeah.
participating. They were so grateful that we'd offered something that gave some hopefulness, a new
Yeah.
framework, a new way of exploring ideas right now in a time that feels kind of dark and scary for a lot of people. And
Totally.
so yeah, next week or next session, we're going to be talking about the core needs triad, which is a framework that I've been developing over years now.
Yeah.
It kind of evolved out of the holding space work, and I've gone deeper and deeper in
Hmm.
exploring how to understand what motivates us, kind of an internal motivation system, and how to incorporate that as you're leading people and kind of understanding what their core needs are, how that shows up in the way they respond to certain things. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that'll be another good one.
All right, we have to go because we our time is at an end. People are showing up in the waiting room already.
All
So
right. We'll let them in.
yeah, for sure. So join us, centerforholdingspace.com/leadership for liminal spaces. We'll see you there.
Yeah.